Here we go, it's last week at the auction. America's favorite top 10 list of auction results from around the globe is hand-selected by me, Josh Levine, your host and guide to the world of auctions. And this is episode 2 of season 3 and continues to be the hottest YouTube series and social media sensation in the world. Okay, the auction world, but what's on tap for today? The original bobblehead. Don't open your Legos. 3 books to rule them all. And the golden goose is on the loose and never... Oh, anyway. Any Maiden fans out there? Anybody? Anyway, well, here we are again with real auction results from real auction houses, and with that comes the valuable insight to what's going on in the secondary market. You know, whether you're a reseller, an appraiser, an auctioneer, downsizing an estate, or thinking of selling a collection, maybe you just like antiques and collectibles, you're gonna learn something today. So welcome back, subscribers, and hello, newbies. I got the goods, amazing auction results, fun facts, and so much more. And as I always say, nothing is more interesting than the world of auctions. Not even Jeffrey Dahmer's refrigerator condiment selections. I'm guessing a lot of Grey Poupon. Anyway, before you go, if you like the show, subscribe below, give me a thumbs up, leave a comment or two, and please share, because sharing is caring. Don't forget to check the drop-down section below, because I have all the links to everything I discuss, social media channels, and most importantly, where you can find out about all these great auction houses. They are where I find out all this cool stuff. So let's just get on with it. It's last week at the auction. Coming in at number 10 is a great Star Wars Lego set. It's the Ewok Village playset that brought $400 at R&R Auction in Glendale, Arizona. It's part of their 3-month-long Sci-Fi Sunday sale that they've been liquidating this 4,000 lot collection, and it's been so much fun to watch. This set in particular retailed for $249 only 7 years ago, and it's appreciated almost 75%. That's a heck of a return. I guess the moral of the story here is buy your kids big Lego sets, don't let them open or play with them, then use the money for college. But seriously, Legos have been an amazing story for several years now because collectors love them. Number 9 is a 1925 Gibson A Jr mandolin that just sold for $750 at LELAND LITTLE. Musical instruments continue to have great resale values, and names like Gibson, Martin, and Fender have been leading the pack. Gibson mandolins reigned supreme in the early 1900s, and this was actually considered a student model in its day. But today, even these models are highly sought after, as the professional versions from the period are now commonly over $3,000. And just to let you know how serious these collectors are, a 1920s Gibson F5 can command $20,000 or more. All right, number 8 is a classic. Le Coultre Atmos Clock just sold for $1,300 at LELAND LITTLE. And I've featured these clocks before, but notice the trend up? They continue to be prized for a design that fits just about anybody's decor, space, and taste. You can find these at estate sales for $1 or $2, meaning $100 or $200, and they're a great buy at that, so keep your eyes peeled. Number 7 is a Ford service sign that just sold at MORPHY'S for $1,500, and it was part of a wonderful automobilia sale. I am featuring this 18-inch diameter beauty as it demonstrates an excellent example of cross collectibles. It's a clock, it's advertising, it's Americana, and it's auto-related. All that equals a large audience of potential buyers and bidders. That's the best kind of collectible there is. Number 6 is a Spode Christmas Rose China Dinnerware service for $12 that just brought $2,400 at LELAND LITTLE. China, China, China. You know, we have a love-hate relationship. You are fragile, and I'm always moving you, but you know, when you bring a few $1,000s, I love you again. And as you may or may not know, this market has been soft for over 10 years now, but I chose this set to illustrate 2 points. 1, there are still buyers out there, so learn more about the desirable patterns, and 2, take note to the time of year you are selling. This is the time to sell your sets. You have people looking for their next Thanksgiving or Christmas set. It's the only time people get formal anymore, and when they're thinking about buying a set. So sell tomorrow, or just leave it in the attic for another year. So what's next? Number 5 is a wonderful Meissen Nodder that just hammered for $2,800 at COTTONE. The first Nodders were made in China and appeared in the late 1600s, and they usually depicted a smiling Buddha. They reached their pinnacle when the Meissen company in Germany began producing some of these amazing beauties. For almost 100 years, these were highly prized pieces. In the 20th century, the Nodder saw a rebirth as baseball's bobblehead. It seems we can't get enough of these bobbing and nodding figures. They can't help you but make you smile, that's for sure. So let's move on to number 4. A pair of Chinese Famille Rose yellow ground garden stools just brought $4,250 at COTTONE. Chinese again, you say? Well, I'm going to say more before we're over because this market is hot. Keep your eyes peeled for 19th century finds because they're commanding top dollar and they're all over the U.S. in homes as they were exported here in the 1950s and 60s during the Cultural Revolution. My fans have heard this before, but I continue to beat the point home because I want you to find some treasure and make some money. Number 3 is a Wendell Castle Music Rack, or a sheet music stand as I call it, and it sold for $11,000 at COTTONE. It was signed WC73 for Wendell Castle 1973, and it's an excellent example of the American craft movement in furniture. This has also been referred to as Castle's biomorphic series. Wendell Castle created some of the most unique pieces of handmade sculpture and furniture and was active for over 4 decades. Should you come across a piece of his work, you should take a second look at the price tag. I believe these could be a great investment for years to come. Okay, you're going to love number 2. It's a first edition set of Lord of the Rings, the trilogy, and it just sold for $30,000 at Hindman. Do not overlook books, people, especially those household names. Very often, the first pressing, first printing, and first edition prior to their fame are highly prized. This set is a case in point, but I'm going to give you another one. A 1997 J.K. Rowling Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone just sold for $120,000. That'll make you look through the books at the thrift store, won't it? If you find one of those, please send your tips and donations to Josh at joshlevinespeaks.com or make a donation in my name to St. Jude's Children's Hospital. So what's in the top spot this week? Well, you guessed it. It's China. Well, it's a Chinese export porcelain tureen in the form of a goose, and it's from the Qing Dynasty circa 1760. It just brought $50,000 at Freeman's, and I must admit, if I saw this one at an antique store for $300 on it, I would have walked right by. I just would not have known, but now I'm going to be looking, and that's the point of this show. You can't know everything, and I learn something each and every week when I do my pre-show research, and I hope you find it beneficial to your antique and collectible education too. But hey, you know what? I'm not done. I'll call this a bonus again. It's also an educational illustrator. A Chinese Blanc de Chine porcelain figure of low hand just sold for, wait, are you ready for it? It had an estimate of $400 to $600 on it from Hindman, a well-known, prominent international auction house. That's what their experts valued, $400 to $600. Well, it brought $290,000. I'm done. Seriously. I would have actually said $300 to $500 if I did it all. That's the world of auctions, people. You weren't going to put a $290,000 price tag on it in your booth, were you? Probably like $499. So now you know what happened last week at the auction. All right, it's time for this week's viewer email. This week's question comes from Shelby Winthrop of Madison, Wisconsin, who asks, "Are you an Aquarius? Because you act like one." What is that supposed to mean? I don't know what that's supposed to mean. But yes, and thanks for stalking me. I need all the friends I can get. So thank you, everyone, and don't forget to email me at josh@joshlevinespeaks.com, where you too can ask me any and all questions. Some are getting really good. And before you go, if you enjoyed the show, subscribe below. Please give me a thumbs up or leave a comment. Be sure to check out all the great auction houses from today's show too. Support your local auctioneers. They're some of the hardest working people in show business. And speaking of show business, my show soundtrack is Whiplash by the Lucky Odds out of San Antonio. Check them out at theluckyodds.com, and remember to support your local musicians and artists. They are some of the hardest hit folks in the economy right now, so just do it. I'll see you next week, or last week at the auction.